All right. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. Good to see you guys here. This is probably going to be the last session before we get you guys off to work on your ideas, your prototypes, your business models. Hopefully, from the business model canvases, you have had a chance to look at um, how essentially the business models are going to work. Some of you have booked in the one-on-one capacity building session. So a mentoring session, I've opened it so that you can get personalized advice on essentially on what you are working on. So that's going to be more customized. There are a few slots today. So after the session, just go through the link that Musfara has shared in the group, and then you can go ahead and get some time. If today doesn't work, then we'll try to open up some more slots for one-on-one mentoring so you can book in those as well. So today's session is all about pitching, and pitching is not a new concept. Most of you have gone through the essentials of pitching, hopefully. But today we are going to cover something which is a bit like getting different aspects of pitching. Number one, getting over your fear of pitching. The most important thing is that you are in the space where you feel comfortable enough with your idea, you feel confident enough and rehearsed enough with your idea so that you can convey it fully. The other thing that we are going to cover is that usually in pitching, and especially when you're doing startup pitching, it's not really about what you are and how much stuff you are putting on the slide deck. That is not a good approach when it comes to, uh, you know, all the content that you're putting up on the slide deck. It just makes it a lot more cluttered and a lot more, I would say, a bit nuanced when you're putting a lot of stuff. It's really about the jockey, like I said, which is all of you. What you have to share about your business idea, your personality should outshine your entire pace at which you are presenting your thought processes, how passionately you feel about your product. That is essentially something that you should be um, looking at when you are doing a pitching session. So today we are going to cover and try. It's going to be a little bit more fast today's session, but as always, keep using the chat function to look through your ideas and ask any questions that you're going to have. The first thing that I want to cover is the basic structure of a pitching a slide deck is essentially the same. You start off with the problem, you start off with the solution that you're proposing, the team, etc. We will provide you with a format for pitching as well. If you allow me, just going to try and see if I can give you a format or show you a format perhaps right now, which you can look through and see that this is essentially how it's going to be. So I'm going to send you and share with you a pitching format. Now that pitching format can be used for your own slide decks, but try to make it as personalized as possible, because the more personalized you make it, the better it's going to be for you. Everybody's slide decks out of this are going to be then different, which is essentially what we want to do. That your stories end up being the ones that um, outshine. So I am very, very quickly going to share a pitch format, and then we are going to speak about it. How many of you have essentially, while I find this out, how many of you have actually made pitches? If I can have like a show of hands. Anybody who has done a pitch at any school, college, at a part as a participant somewhere? Yes, no? Not getting anything. Okay, no, okay, no, no, no. All right, okay. So for most of you, am I right to assume that it's going to be the first one that you're going to do? Okay. Uh-huh. All righty. Wonderful. Okay, great. So the first thing, if it's going to be your first session, then that's even interesting because what we are going to just speak about is essentially this. So I'm going to share the slide deck, and I'll make sure that you guys have a copy of the recording so that you can go through the recording as well. Um, this is essentially what a pitching slide deck looks like, you guys. Basics, very simple, very easy. In your case, you're not team members, so but we're just going to just put in your names. You start off with a problem, bare minimum text on the slides. Pictures speak louder than words. So try to just put up like realistic pictures that relate to your idea, could be yours, etc. I'll show you a sample and then we'll go from there. Start with that storytelling bit which you have to start off with. Start with a problem, start with the solution. Essentially, what is it that you're proposing as a solution? Then you start talking about what product, what service that you are going to speak about. So your USP comes in here. Your unique selling point comes in here. Your value proposition comes in here. Something which is different, something which is unique. um then you can this is a duplicate to what the previous slide was, but you can speak about what you're trying to achieve. How are you relating it with the SDGs? Because this particular fellowship, we have kind of like tried to blend some SDGs into your um entire concept and your thought process. You talk about market analysis. So when I say market analysis, you're going to share here what other similar products are out there and how are you different. Okay, so this slide is very important because this is a question that comes in pretty much all pitching sessions where people are going to ask you, have you scanned the market, have you spoken to somebody, have you looked at the competition? So this is your slide where you speak, oh yes, we know that there is XYZ business that is similar to ours, but this is how we are different. So market analysis should cover that. Then we speak about your budget. How are you going to make money, essentially? So what is your business model? The important bit where we spoke about customer segments, remember? Is it a B2B? Is it a B2B2C? Is it a B2C? So what kind of business model are you going to do? How are you going to make money, and where do you see yourself? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now? Where is you in your head? Where are you taking your business idea? And then you speak about your team, which is fine. You don't have any at this moment, but keep it simple, keep it very, very basic. We will send you this particular template, but I want to show you something even more practical that you can do. So starting off with that, because I want to show you again the software that we are going to use for pitch decks. I'm just very quickly covering the technicalities so that I can then take you through how to pitch, because most of you have not pitched as yet. So I would want that, some of you get an idea of how are we going to capture the audience. That's the most important thing. There are 3 C's in which we focus the entire pitching process. The first C is, let me open up a whiteboard. The first C is capture. That capture is your first 30 seconds in which you are going to uh, just make sure that your audiences know quite clearly where and how and what your idea is. So the first basic main thing in any pitching is that we need to capture the audience, right? And how do you do that? You usually do that with a captivating story. It is not your name. I repeat, it is not your name. It can never be your name. It has to be something which is innovative. It has to be something which drives the conversation. Um, it has to be a story which sells the most effectively. It could be a story that is serious, or it could be a humorous story as well. Depending on depending on your business idea and what you're working on, it could be serious, it could be funny, it could be humorous. And then it has to be something which is it could either be a statistic as well. What do I mean by statistic? X% of people are going through this. I'm showing you examples on this, but these are the three areas in which we limit our entire capture point. What is your intro? Yes, Abdullah, we can. The storytelling is a serious story about yourself, a made up story, a humorous story, a story about somebody in your family. It could be anything, but it has to cut the clutter. You do not start off pitching sessions by saying, "Hi, everybody, this is me, this is who I am, this is who I'm going to talk about." It is very cluttered when you do that. So you have to then, just focus on innovation. Okay. The next thing is content. I've just shown you, and I'll show you more as well. Your content has to be super, super brief. It cannot be too much text which is unreadable for the audiences. It has to be bullets. It has to be, brief, and it has to be to the point. So when I say to the point, it essentially means that you're not even using sentences, phrases only. Phrase. Essentially, 5 to 7 words which do not form a sentence fully is a phrase. And that is what you focus on, right? The other thing that is a really good sell is pictures. So if you have like some personal pictures that you want to share, or maybe an avatar that you have made of your brand, of your business idea, then that is essentially something which is going to work really, really well. Okay. And then the third C, can anybody guess what the third C would be? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. The closure, the ask. What is it? What is the format of that particular pitch? Are you pitching to judges? Are you pitching for money, which is an ask? Are you asking for equity? Whatever it is that particular pitch is customized to, that has to be your closure. You have to bring the audiences back to the point in which you have to ask them, and the last point that they would want you to remember. So if it is for this particular fellowship, for example, you would be your pitches are going to be reviewed by judges. So you have your closure has to be that. So there's no money ask in it, but then there is an ask that, I'd really want that this idea goes places, and I put in effort and I see it scaling up. I want to take it out from my home country now to international scale. So that closure has to be well thought of, and the closure always changes, depending on who your audience is for that particular session. So three C's, you guys, really, really simple, really, really straightforward. Capture your content and your closure. All of this has to be put up into a bundle. That was the second session that we did with you guys, which is your brand. Your brand, your colors, who you are, what your logo is, your brand presence should speak out in your slide deck. It should show that, this is who you are, this is what your brand represents, and you should be able to see this as an opportunity to customize your slide deck in a way that essentially covers the branding bit. Oops, something's happening. I don't know what it is, but this is essentially what we need to focus on. That the entire slide deck, it has to be branded. right? And how are you going to brand it? That's another question, right? Remember the 3 C's: the capture, the content, and the closure. Take a screenshot if you have to. Otherwise, the whiteboard would be available. The recording would be available as well. But these are the 3 C's, which is the holy grail of any pitching sessions that you can do anywhere. Okay. Um, Now, talking about the brand, we did do a branding session, and this is why that is now getting collated here. If you haven't watched it, it was with Mariam. Just make sure that you go back on that recording and see what were the essentials of the branding elements that need to come out. So, what essentially that means is that whatever your brand's presence is, whatever your logo is, whatever your identity is, everything is then reflected into your pitch deck. It cannot be something with flowers and butterflies if your brand is very subtle. If your brand is very loud, then it cannot be something which is too subtle, right? So, however you're branding that particular element, that has to be something that you need to think of. I know there were some requests for doing a Canva session, so I thought that I'll blend in 10-15 minutes of Canva in this as well, so that you could take a look at it. So I'm just quickly going to hop on to Canva, and I'm going to share my screen. That how do you use Canva to make like very good pitch decks? So this is Canva. For some of you, it would look different because this is a paid account. Uh, Even a free account looks quite similar, but there are certain features that won't be available. But generally, even in the free version, a lot of things are available. So when you go on to Canva and you make an account here, you're going to go to somewhere on the left hand side which says Create. You see this button right at the top, and just go to Create. And what is it that we are making today? We are making a pitch deck. Okay, we are making a slide deck, and we are making it yours, right? So you're going to write a pitch, and if we just look through that, is it's a presentation that you need to make. So you're going to start off with a presentation, but here in templates is where you are going to start looking for options. So I picked up a design called the slide deck. So it automatically gave me a canvas, which was 4 by 3. You can do 16 by 9 as well. You can resize it. Let us do that as well. If we want to do a custom size of it, we can just say, okay, we want a presentation, but we want a bigger canvas. So you'll see that the canvas has automatically converted into a 16 by 9 canvas. Now you're going to go on to templates and you're going to design this. Now, essentially, those of you who have had this session with me, the mentoring session, Sachin, you are there. This is what I'm talking about, the voice prompt. So Canva has introduced a voice prompt in here as well, in which I can just speak to it and I can tell it that I'm allowing it. So can you make a pitch deck template for me for a startup? Okay, let's see what it generates. Now this is using real AI. A tool that wasn't based on AI at all is using AI as well. So Sachin, this is for you also to understand and identify that this is something that's happening, and it's still generating it. Anyways, so it gave me, you can see here that it gave me a lot of these options. Oh God, stop recording. It has given me a lot of these pitch deck, startup pitch deck options. Okay. So I want to see, all right, maybe I like this one, maybe I like something else. Let's pick up this one. Okay. It's just all very random. Maybe I won't need all the slides, but I'm just going to take this and I'm going to apply all the 15 pages. I chose a template. Let me show you how. I put in a command here in the template section, and I told it that I want a pitch deck template for a startup. So it has given me a lot of these startup pitch decks, etc. And I can now pick up any that I like, that I really want to work with, and they kind of like resonate with my brand. So let me pick up let's say if I want to pick up, I want to see, this is a video, I don't want a video, I want something which has a slide deck platform. Okay, so I don't want a template that is only a video. I want a scroll. Okay, so do you see here where my cursor is, that this is a scroll that is working? So let us apply these 10 pages. It says pastel modern startup pitch deck. I clicked it, all 15 pages at the bottom. The template is ready. Now what I'm going to do, is this template mine? Not really. Alicia uses it, Zonish uses it, Abdullah uses it. Everybody would come up with 3 templates which are essentially copy paste of each other. So now what I want to do is I want to brand it, I want to customize it, right? I don't want, a couple of things from the template. I'm just going to start deleting it maybe. And then I'm going to look at ways in which I can make it my own and play with the colors. So if I have to do this template and make it on my Mindworks colors, I'm just going to just randomly start changing the colors and make it to our brand colors. So I think maybe, okay, the yellow looks better, or maybe the blue looks, oh my god, that looks too dark. Okay, the yellow looks better. And then I'm going to say change all, and everything is changed. Do you see at the bottom? I want yeses or nos, because then I can't see you guys. I'm just counting on the chats to see what you're saying. Okay, so if you guys are with me, I know I'm fast today on purpose, but this is what essentially I wanted you guys to go through. How are we making a pitch deck ours? Okay, and the next thing is, thank you Zonish and Alicia and Me. Okay, so now the next thing is, okay, I want to change maybe the color of the text, and I want to call it something else. You can obviously change the text how you want to, but here again I want to change like the font. Okay, so I've made the font from black to our brand color is blue. So I'll say, okay, all fonts will go to blue. And so everything you see here has gone to blue. I don't like this particular thing. Okay, I don't like this curvature. Whatever you don't like in the idea, you can then just tweak it as per your wishes. Now coming back to this particular graphics and imagery and something that is put up. Now let me tell you that if I want to put up something, I can quickly just go to I want to use my own picture. I want to use something that we're doing ourselves. So I'll go to uploads, which is this particular section, and I want to put up a picture that's already something that we want to use, and I want to put my own picture instead of this flower. Okay, so maybe if I do this, I put this picture, and now I still feel that this picture is still not on brand. This white thing popping out of it isn't looking better. I just go to this tool, which is called background remover, and I just go and I remove the background. Now, in maybe some free versions, this won't be available, but just give it a shot and see if you can do that. I want to make it bigger, smaller, however you want it. You can just customize it and make it yours. Now, this is how essentially you are going to make the changes. Also, when it comes to you using your logos, etc., you'd have different logo, whatever you a brand, you can just take up and put it as part of this particular structure. Now you see I've put up the logo, but what's happening, the yellow color of the brand is blending with the yellow color of the Sorry, guys, something happened and I got locked out of my computer. I'm just signing back, but you get the idea for Canva. I'm going to carry on. And till I get my laptop back, I'm going to tell you how it's going to work. So essentially, what happens with Canva is essentially that this is how you change and you make the edits and you make the entire process flow your own. Okay, and how you're going to go ahead with this is that just look at the different elements that you're going to be using, and then it's going to become a part of your entire branded pitch deck. Okay, so is that making sense? I'm back on my system so I can then re-kick off. Thank you. I can re-kick off and just join in and show you guys. How many of you do you have a Canva account already and you've played up with Canva before? Just use the chat so I know that while I get myself back in. I have. Good, Javeria. Okay. Play with the tool. It's a fantastic tool. And the whole idea and the concept is to get you to look and explore at different things, but it
Recording
only
in progress.
Sorry, yes, but the tool only works if you customize it and make it your own. I hope you guys can hear me now. Okay. All right, you can. Wonderful. Thank you, Abdullah. All right, so coming back to what we were doing, let me. Just opening my camera. Sorry. So just sharing my screen, just giving you another heads up a little bit on the Canva. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about, Abdullah, that you have to essentially customize it with your own brand colors, just like I'm showing you right now. So whatever pitch deck you are selecting, just feel free to customize it. But what you see essentially here is that it has picked up the conversation and it has given you the structure of what a good business model should look like and what a good slide deck should look like, essentially. Okay. So this is for you to start off with, customize it, make it yours. And now I'm going to give you guys an example of another software that we'll be using for you to record your pitches. Now that recording of the pitch that we have to do, the 3-minute recording that you have to submit for the Gen AI fellowship, that is a deliverable for this fellowship. For you to qualify as a fellowship attendee, as Gen AI, what we want from you is that you use this particular tool that I'm going to show you next, and use that tool to record your pitch deck. So your pitches are not going to be live for the judging session. They are going to be pre-recorded, and you're going to use this next tool that I'm going to talk to you about and show you how the tool works. You can do the same thing in Canva as well, but we prefer if you use the Loom tool, which I'm just showing it to you right now, that how is that going to work. Okay. So this is essentially the link of this particular tool. It's a very good tool. It's called loom.com. Okay. And this allows you to record your pitches alongside your picture. Okay. And I'm going to show you an example of how we are going to use it. This is a free tool. You don't need to put a subscription to it. And I'm going to show you something from 5 years ago. One of my own pitches that I presented to a school of social entrepreneurship in the Miller Center USA, and this was my final submission to them. Okay, so I want you to take a look at this particular pitch deck and see how the storytelling process is going to work, and you have to essentially follow the same, and it will take many iterations for you to do that, but hopefully you should be able to do that. Okay, I'm just up on this and I'm playing this for you. I'll have to reshare my screen so that you can hear the sound as well. Hold on. Alrighty. I hope you guys can see the screen and then replay the whole thing. Can you guys see the screen? Yes? Okay. Thank you, Abdullah. All right, take a look at this. Hi, let's learn about Mindworks International, ideas that matter. This is me at the age of 8 wanting to be an entrepreneur, but there Hi, let's learn about Mindworks International, ideas that matter. This is me at the age of 8 wanting to be an entrepreneur, but there were very few opportunities that were available. 24 years in education, a career, and a job later, I realized that there were still very few opportunities that were available for my daughter to pick up entrepreneurship as a career choice, which made me think about a huge problem that our country has. Two-thirds of our population under between the ages 15 to 29 years of age are the ones who are going to be the future job seekers in this country, as entrepreneurship is not taught at any level. When we look at the primary and secondary level statistics, we find that the situation is even more dismal. 2.6 million of our addressable market between the ages 15 to 19 are at the brink of making a career choice. And if they at this stage are not taught about entrepreneurship as an option, they will be the next job seekers in the country. So this made us think about a solution. Why don't we start early and talk about entrepreneurship when the career decisions are being made? So we thought that we'll create hype and excitement around entrepreneurship as a career choice, and we'll do that by building the capacities of young adults by also providing them access to incubators and accelerators, because this is one niche area in which the incubators and accelerators are not working in. Our mission statement, hence, is very simple. We want to transform the entrepreneurial landscape in Pakistan by focusing on entrepreneurship as a career option. Our value proposition is 8 to 19-year-old children go through a stimulated learning experience via our entrepreneurship bootcamp and learn the skills which are needed by future entrepreneurs. What have we achieved the last 3 years of operations? 500 plus graduates spread all across Pakistan. We have also had a few of our startups run their own businesses, 3 to be exact, and we have impacted the lives of around 700 plus individuals by focusing on a socio-economic class inclusion mechanism and pricing strategy. We have also, via our young entrepreneurship movement, created excitement around young adults as a feeder to our programs, and this is also spread across Pakistan with over 100 Yemas, as we like to call them, who's gone through our program. Our key partnership are with the incubation centers, our school chains, and STEM organizations that come with us and speak about digital entrepreneurship as well. Our growth plan for the next 5 years is that we want to go into alternate customers, and we want to have a separate pricing strategy for B2B partners. And we are looking for national and international collaborations. How are we going to do that? Our ask is around 15,000 of grant funding, which will allow us to grow to other cities and impact 500 more lives over a period of 3 years. We are also looking at a funding of around a revenue generation of around 2 million Pakistan rupees in the next years. This is the team that we have. So myself as the CEO and founder, our communications manager, and our financial advisor. If you want to learn more about us, these are the details which you can reach us. Remember, we're working on ideas that matter. Thank you for listening. All right, guys. So this essentially is the 3 minutes, right? The pitch deck. I want feedback. What did you guys think? I couldn't take it. It was just 5 years ago, and I just thought that, oh my God, so much incorrect. I could have done so much better. But that's what happens with pitches, that you're going to look back at it and you're going to say, oops, this is what we're doing. But my question is, was, as somebody who doesn't know what the company does, were you able to see the story and maybe relate more to the business? Yeah. No, not really, Veda. You don't have a team. That's okay. Right? So now you'd say, oh, this is what Ma'am Noor started off with, and this is where the journey of the company started off with. This is essentially what you have to say. So that personal, you could say something that you have maybe faced personally. You can, speak about that. You can speak about a story of, somebody else going to a particular process flow and then sharing that, right? That is essentially what is going to encapsulate your entire pitch deck. So you capture the audience attention with the storytelling, you do a content check on it, very brief, very much in line with what you are trying to ask the audience, and then you do it with a closure. In the closure, I just had to say the tagline of the company, and we were sorted. Now, Abdullah, you were asking, I don't know if you're there, somebody was asking about the brand, about making it the colors. Did you see that the slide deck was on brand? So it was all Mindworks color, the yellow, green, and blue, right? That's essentially what is the branding like. So it all looks cohesive. Had it been, again, I can show you some examples from some of the other startups that I have mentored, and I always quote this example. Let me see if I can dig this presentation out. It was a really good one, in which we spoke to, in which people came up with their ideas and really nice aesthetic looking slide decks, which weren't even in practice at that time, right? But they ended up, yeah, there you go. Maybe I can share the slide deck with you, of a business idea that was not really in the, they hadn't even started off with their idea, but it was so beautifully presented that it looked like, this is a real business that exists. I'm going to start that out, but I want to take some questions. Okay. Ishal, ideally, um, it gives a better impact to the judges who are going to watch your pitches. But if you are uncomfortable, if you're somebody who does the hijab, for example, we are very okay with it. That you do it with that. You can do it with an avatar. You speak to Musfara about it. She'll help you, guide you with how can you do like an avatar recording. But essentially, your voice should be there. Okay. Um, yes, Abdullah, I will share a template. Not a problem. Essentially, Mudassir, yes, your prototype, it just becomes very, very nice if you share your prototype in the slide deck presentation. Musfira, we have to share Minova's slide deck with everybody. If you have a link, please do share that. That will be really good if you can share that. Go ahead, Shubhanmi. You have a question, please ask.
Okay, good morning, ma'am.
Good
So,
morning.
regarding the prototype aspect, I have a link. It is you can go live with the prototype stuff. So, am I going to include it in my presentation, or I can just from the presentation move to the prototype? Is there
Yeah.
something like that? Okay,
Yeah, you can do a screen recording of the prototype and put it in the slide deck,
okay,
right? That is the quickest, the easiest way, because then you'll be on one interface and you won't be like switching softwares or screens.
yes,
So the best thing to go is that before you start off recording the slide on Loom, just do like a recording, a screen recording of your prototype and how your prototype is working. And we can share examples with you from previous projects that people have made, how they have used their screen decks. Okay. So Musfira will share some samples with you of some previous ideas that people have made, and you can then see that how they have essentially presented their ideas. Okay. So then there is another question, Mudassir. Mudassir, we are finalizing. We are finalizing the deadlines. We'll make it comfortable for you. And we're just discussing internally, Musfira and myself and Harima, that how much time would you guys need? But it should be quickish because this is how the tasks are planned. But we are looking at a date. We are waiting for a few confirmation from the judges who are going to just give you some important feedback on your recordings. So as soon as we hear back from um, the judges, we'll get in touch with you. uh, 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 uh. Any more questions, you guys? I know this was a relatively faster session, but this is how we had planned it so that you can take a quick look at how things are going to work. I'm just trying to figure out if I can show you something from Gen AI from previous years. We have all of the slide decks which we can share. So if we can give you the feedback, yes, that'll be great. So Musfira, we need to share a couple of samples with the guys so that they know what we are expecting. The feedback from the judges is going to be live. The format of the finale is that we will have your recording submitted beforehand. All of you will be present so that when the judges are going through your video recording pitch deck, they will then give you live feedback. So then you should be there to answer any questions that the judges have. Okay. The prototype can be anything, Adyan. If it's a website, if it's an app, whatever it is that you have worked on, right, which showcases your idea, it could be anything that you have worked on. No, Nurhan, but generally there should be some future ideas. So you can say in the future, I want to work on this. Those of you who are studying at the moment, you can say, okay, I want to now look at maybe building up a team that supports me with this. Okay, in my graduation, I want to conduct more research on my idea. You can be somebody who says, okay, I'm going to take this idea and try to like test it in the market and see how people respond to it. Anything which is a part of the future plans, you can add. But it's always a good thing because judges anywhere would want to know that you are in the business or you want to take this idea forward for them to have faith in you. Okay. So yes, future plans, you can speak about it, whatever the future plans are. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to make like millions and millions in the first year. No, they're just looking at, okay, is this kid really interested in putting the hard work to like put things into action or not? I have a very good pitch that I wanted to share with you guys, but there's so much work that I can't seem to find it. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I think I have something. Yeah, I think I have something. So I am going to show you something. Oh yeah, let's see this particular pitch deck. This is one of my favorite ones, okay? Really good, really exciting. I can share it with their permission. They're doing awesome, and the idea is really, really exciting. No, Noran, no. The need is essentially something that I already shared with you, that the need is something which is the ask is not something that is the audience. That particular thing has to be customized with who the audience is for the pitch deck. So in here you are just showcasing a project, so you don't really have to ask for investment. This is really about how you're going to take things forward. I want to show you one other really good branded presentation of a business idea. Uh, really innovative. The concept of this particular acceleration camp that I was mentoring was green solutions. So, working on solutions that are offering some kind of sustainable and green solutions. Okay. And I'm just showing you the storytelling, right? It's so good. Crop Care, that's the brand, that's the logo. The tagline is farming at its best. Okay. Story. And the guy is saying it out. But see if you can relate to it. This is Jamal, owns a land in Jamshoro. Jamal's wheeled crop yield is this much quintal in the year 2021. In 2022, it was negative. It went from 104 to this. What happened? This is what happened. All the diagnosis was that the leaves of his wheat yield were rusted. It didn't detect on time. It was not treating on time. Hence, a loss for Jamal. Now, this is what happens with every other landowner. This is what they have to go through. These are the stories of real farmers who face the crop crisis. Their crops are infected by, problems, and people don't know. I'm just showing you, okay, problem, solution. This is where we come. Crop Care. This is an app which actually guides you, capture the disease, use an AI tool to focus on. Now see this prototype. Shubhanmi, this is what I'm saying. So they took a screenshot, they took a screen recording of their app, of their solution, and they blended it into the slide deck. Do you see how this is working in the background? I'm not touching anything. So they have blended the screenshot, how the app is going to work into their slide deck. Okay. Results. Some more screenshots from their prototype where they're speaking about, okay, this is the leaf, this is the problem. Spot fungus. This is alternaria leaf fungus. This is what our impact is going to be with the app. It's a trained AI model. These are the impacted SDGs that we are focusing on. This is what the market size is like. This is how many customers we can target globally. Our strategy. These were a bit more advanced stage startups. I'm not expecting you to do all of this, and I'm not expecting you to give a competitor analysis, but just to show you that this is how startups that are pitching for an acceleration stage, this is the comparative analysis, and this is how detailed we expect the businesses to focus on. Pricing, okay, and their roadmap and the team. Love this guy. Shahrukh is a wonderful boy. I don't know what he's up to, but essentially a really, really good person. And this is from some years ago, by the way, you guys. So, no, Javeria, it's just one. You just have one deliverable, which is the video. The video has your slide deck, it has your recording, and it has everything else. Yes, Musfira, go ahead, please.
Ma'am, I just want to say that if we can move to the mentoring slots, we have from Nomi first till
Okay,
3:30,
perfect.
and then
Thank you so
those
much.
who want to, yeah, those who want to stay, they can for their ideas, and other can leave.
Sure. So this was it, you guys. This is it for the pitching session. You get an idea. Let me do a quick roundup. What we are focusing on is essentially your pitches. You can make your pitch in Canva or PowerPoint, whatever it works. Make sure it follows the 3C concept. You have to then hop on to loom.com where you can do the recording just how I have shown you. You'll open up your camera, you'll upload the slide, and you would record the slide with essentially, ideally, your photo. right? The third deliverable is just that. Your prototype should be blended and a video should be just put up into the slide deck. Okay. And Musfira will share some examples with you of previous Gen AI fellowship submissions as well, where people have followed that exact same format. All right. So that's about it for you guys. I have few slots today, not a lot of time. We've done the mentoring, but if you think that you want mentoring sessions, maybe we can keep some for Wednesday. So Masfara, I can give you some time for Wednesday and we can see how that goes. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Take care.